Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome to today's broadcast. Fantastic event coming up for you. Ron Gividen's in the house. Escort Radar, if you have a radar question or if a speeding ticket, maybe a story that you'd like to share, whatever you'd like, he's the man. Hot spots, you name it. I'm Bobby Likis, and with me is Ron Gividen. Ron, it's great to have you back in the house again.
Bobby, it is always good to be here. Great to see you, and always great to speak with your audience.
And that's what it's all about. You're more than welcome. Thank you for making the trek, and we're glad to have you here. This segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Folks, sign up to be an O Rewards member today and start earning instantly $5 back for every $150 you spend. It's fast, easy, and free, and only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Also, I'm proud to say that this segment is brought to you in part by General Tire. Anywhere is possible with a grabber line of light truck tires born from competition. For more details, go to generaltire.com. And for all your radar information, don't go anywhere. You stay right here. Kim will take your calls and put you in the queue. I see we have Larry and William already there. So you call us, 888 Car Clinic. And we'll share information. Ron has great stories to tell, and there's some details. And I, as a Passport Max owner, have some questions of my own that are technical. So regardless, you call us at 888-227-2546. And when we come back, we'll take your calls and talk radar. Don't let old man winter keep you indoors this season. Let General's Ultimax Arctic make anywhere possible, no matter the weather. The Ultimax Arctic features unique grooves and sipes, maximizing snow, ice, and wet traction in all directions. While its modern compound offers outstanding performance in low temperatures, it's the perfect tire to get you where you need to go this winter. Tweet us photos of your winter adventures at General Tire. Hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
O'Reilly. Don't waste time and money this holiday season driving all over town in search of the perfect gift. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and purchase gift cards. They're available for any amount and can be used at any O'Reilly Auto Parts store or online at O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly gift cards take the guesswork out of Christmas and make the perfect stocking stuffers. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Bobby Likis with today's Fact or Friction. Brought to you by Royal Purple, the performance lubricants that outperform. Fact or friction? All oil filters are the same. Friction. Oil filters, like oil, vary widely. Here are a couple of quality points to look for when selecting an oil filter. 1. Construction. The filter housing should be made of heavy-gauge steel for higher burst strength, allowing the filter to keep its shape and integrity. 2. The filtering element and media. Check out the specs for the micron size of the particles that are trapped. Too little filtration can result in engine performance issues. Too much filtration can pose flowability problems. I prefer synthetic oil filters that trap particles as small as 25 microns. When choosing lubricants for your vehicle, consider Royal Purple High Performance Motor Oil and a Royal Purple filter. Visit RoyalPurple.com for all the Royal Purple advantages. Then pick up your Royal Purple today at Pep Boys.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
It straddles the line between timeless classic and modern luxury.
The grape tomato.
The ruby red in a sea of greens. The muse behind the great chef, Boyardee.
Beefaroni, mi amore.
Oh, tomato. Are you fruit? Are you vegetable?
What is identity?
Groceries, essentials, signature value.
The Everyday Collection by Target.
Hey, Todd. Where's our sub?
Oh, Samantha. I've already given my sub to Sally.
What? Sally? Hey, Samantha. How could you?
I got a phone call. Todd.
Men.
This is Todd.
Get your own steak and bacon melt with mountains of juicy steak and melty cheese. Subway Steak Melts. Subway. Eat fresh.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And I want to welcome you to today's edition of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. We're going to call it the Bobby and Ron, or Ron and Bobby show, because Ron Gividen is here from Escort Radar. And not only very knowledgeable, but Ron, what I really appreciate about Escort, about your company, and about you specifically, is that you're open, you're approachable. I mean, you make a call, and in your website, escortradar.com, you go to Escort. If you're just there to browse, somebody pops up and says, "Can I help you?" I mean, it's a fantastic layout, and I love what you do, and I love the product, as you know. So with that being said, folks, let me give you just a little bit of a background on Ron. Working with premium radar detectors for 2 decades from Escort, he's going to help us drive smarter. In the Wayback Machine, Ron designed RF communication electronics similar to radar detectors, helped set up an engineering department at Escort 2 decades ago. Well, you've been around a while.
I'm almost as old as you.
I'll forget that.
Dinosaur.
Many years, and an MBA later began to work on the business side of the house, doing marketing, ad copy, PR, and extensive training, both live, in person, at retail locations and on media for later distribution and use, and now spends a fair amount of time with live media. That would be Car Clinic, radio, TV, and the web. Recent appearances on the Home Shopping Network TV. Dave Graveline, who does a great job, by the way,
yes,
Into Tomorrow, and that's a consumer electronics. I mean, he's the guru there. Craig Crossman, Computer America, and, of course, Bobby Likis Car Clinic. The company name, Escort Radar, escort.com or escortradar.com. With that, we do have calls, and I want to open the phones now. So if you have a radar question, regardless, you call us. We'll answer, or Ron is the authority.
Or
seriously.
make something up.
Or make something up. You go. So you'll just kind of go along. Again, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Thank you so much. You know what? It is always so fun and entertaining to be here. It really is.
It is.
And you know, you mentioned stories. You've got some great stories, and I sure hope that we hear a couple of those here in the next couple of hours. But I want to go back in that paragraph. I want to make sure if people are listening, don't go to escort.com, and they go to escortradar.com. Because if you go to escort.com, that's not us. And I don't know. You might be surprised.
But if you Google Escort Radar
if you
pops,
Google Escort,
guaranteed Escort pops up. And if you're looking for the number one best radar detector in the world, and I say this because it's true, Escort. Escort has it.
Thank you.
Let's take a call from Nevada. From William in Nevada. William, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. And folks, if you'd like to get in, Kim will take your call, put you in a queue, and I will put you on the air. And the number is 888 Car Clinic, 888-227-2546. William, you called in early. You were first in, so you're first up. Welcome to the Ron and Bobby Escort Show.
Hey, morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning, William.
Hey, I got a question. I own a motorcycle, a Yamaha R1, and I was interested in getting a radar detector to put on there. Is it possible to mount the Escort radar detector on there? And if so, how does it deal with the weather elements?
Very good question. So first of all, William, thank you very much for calling in and listening to Bobby Likis, and thank you for the interest in our products. Your motorcycle, that's a very hot, sweet machine. I have a cruiser, so I'm much more laid back, but the short answer to the question is yes, there's some things that you can do. Years ago, we actually did make a radar detector that was completely ambient sealed. What I would suggest, and what we do back at the factory, many of us who have motorcycles, we'll do one of 2 different routes. Thank you very much,
You're
Bobby.
welcome very much.
We'll do one of 2 different things. You can always use the Solo S3, which is a battery-powered, completely portable radar detector. And so now the whole issue of ambient, the environment, the situation with the radar detector, you just put it on the up on the small windshield or fairing or handlebar of your motorcycle. And now when you pull into a location, a business establishment, someplace where you're going to go inside and be away from the bike, you take the detector off the motorcycle, put it in your pocket, and that's easy. Some people do that. However, I would recommend our 9500 CI. That's our completely custom installed system. And here's why. Most of the electronics are either ambient sealed or are installed on your bike in locations that are not generally accessible to the weather. And if you're not on a motorcycle where you're going to be driving in pounding rain, which is not likely in most cases, everything else on that particular system is going to do fine, including the display, which can be mounted inside of a small case with a trim bezel, and you can seal that with a ring. There are many different adaptions, and some people have even got some spots on the website. We don't put that on our website because our attorneys would say if we put it on the website and sell that as a motorcycle manufacturer design system, we would have to fully support it in a motorcycle installation. Now, here's the beauty of that particular system. It comes with 2 laser shifters, and that's our very polite way of saying jammer. So what's really nice, William, not only do you have this fantastic ultimate range, super fast response radar detector that's all built into your motorcycle, you put one of those shifters, which means jammers, you put one on the front of your motorcycle, mount one in the rear, and now even with laser, you're not going to be stopped, and here's why. The instant you're shot with laser, which can be very deadly in other situations, on your system, on your Y1, William, while you're riding, your 9500 CI is going to pop on and blind that gun, and you're not going to be stopped.
And where can he go to get additional information on the site?
EscortRadar.com. We can have it to your location anywhere in the United States in one day.
In one day. Thank you, William, for your call. And William, before I let you go, and for all the folks that are tuned in now, and those of you on the air, we have a great Escort radar laser detector giveaway today. And the only thing you have to do is call in with your radar detector questions, and you're automatically in the running to win. And get this now, this is the Passport Max 2, which is a $599 value. That's the retail sales price of that particular.
It's this very unit right here.
That's the Max 2.
This is the one that we were playing poker for last night at your house. So this is it right here.
888 Car
Brand
Clinic.
new.
888-227-2546 with your radar question. Just so if you've got a radar question, a similar question, call and we'll put your name in the magic hat and we'll choose a winner soon. One thing that's important for everyone to know is that this unit has 3 times the range of standard detectors. And I do have a story, but I'll tell it a little bit later on because it's almost I almost feel guilty using it, and I'll tell you why. How could you possibly feel guilty about using a radar detector? And I'll tell you that story coming back.
Can I interject? They're legal in 49
states.
49 states.
It has the Defender database for speed cameras already built in, and it's Bluetooth equipped for instant access to Escort Live app. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So the bottom line is, folks, 888 Car Clinic, your radar question from Ron, or for me, and I'll try my best to answer it, and if I can possibly do that. In the meantime, let's take a call from Minnesota. Lauren from Minnesota, thanks for holding. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And my question was, I've thought about getting one of these, but if you put one in the car, and I know they can detect oncoming radar from a patrol car, but let's say you're going down the highway and one pulls in behind you. Can they detect that coming from behind you or the side of you?
Well, first of all, Lauren, thanks very much again for listening to Bobby and tuning into the show, and thank you especially for calling. That's a very good question. And if I understand your question correctly, I believe what you're wanting to make certain is that the radar detector, at least our particular line of radar detectors, will be able to pick up an officer who is patrolling. She may be behind you coming from the rear. Is that your specific question?
Yes, that's exactly, yep.
Yes. The good news is it's a lot like in the old days when you had a portable radio that you might carry long before smartphones or a television set. Radar actually is omnidirectional. And the good news for our radar detectors, not all competitor models, but all of the Escort and Beltronics radar detectors, they will pick up completely from any direction. So direction is not an issue with our radar detectors. And again, that's because of the nature of radar waves. They just fan out much like television signals, much like radio signals. And our antennas are the most sensitive in the industry. So if there's anything on the road, anywhere, we're going to pick that up and alert to you. And here's the best part, Lauren. With respect to time and the amount of time that you're going to have to respond, if you ask a law enforcement officer, what is the single best thing that drivers can do to avoid having accidents on the road? They will tell you, slow down. And here's why. It gives you more time. Well, our radar detectors are going to alert before any other type of model or system, and that gives you what? More time. So now that you have more time, you can take pervasive action. You're not going to be stopped. You're not going to be pulled over.
So let me understand. Unlike GPS, where you have to have a clear satellite view, i.e. you park inside a garage and you lose your satellite radio and what have you, the Passport Max or the Escort radar detectors have 360-degree eyes.
Yes, exactly. All the way around.
I didn't know that. I thought that they mainly focused on the front. For as much as I thought I knew about radar detectors, I thought they mainly focused on the front and pick up scatter from the back. I thought it had to bounce off the windshield or bounce off. But it's an omnidetectional sensor.
It is, and we can talk more after the break, but there's some, you're getting into the very advanced engineering aspects. Some of what you just said is absolutely accurate, but in Lauren's case on the road, not the problem.
Lauren, thanks for your call, and folks, take your calls when we come back from the break. 888 Car Clinic, don't touch the dial.
My car's a sauna. What's with this air conditioning?
You need an AC Pro.
Know any?
Yeah, you.
You got me confused with somebody else.
You're a pro with new do-it-yourself AC Pro, the 10-minute cold air solution.
But
You know where to find the hood?
That thing up front?
Exactly. AC Pro's easy, fast, and saves you money. You'll have your car's AC blowing cold air in minutes.
I did it! It's like a freezer in here.
Be a pro with new AC Pro, the 10-minute cold air solution.
Got a sweater?
I'm Bobby Likis with today's Drive Smarter tip, brought to you by Escort, the world's best radar and laser detectors. When I say horsepower, what comes to mind? If you think go, you're right. But if you think stop, you're right too. Horsepower measures muscle, usually thought of in terms of acceleration. But what goes up must come down. Yes, it takes horsepower to stop vehicles as well. In fact, it takes twice as much energy, or horsepower, to bring a vehicle to a stop as it does to get the same vehicle up to speed. Now you know why everyday driving, even in cold weather, creates extremely high temperatures within a car's braking system, up to 600 degrees. So make sure your car's horses have the right power to whoa as well as to go. Have your brakes checked regularly by an automotive professional. This Drive Smarter tip is brought to you by Escort. Don't just drive smarter. Escort. To choose the best radar or laser detector for you, drive to escortradar.com.
O'Reilly. If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing and grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like BrakeBest Select, and Wagner Thermoquiet at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brake parts from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
When we play a game together, I probably won't say, "Thanks for making me the focus of all your attention and energy." I'll just give you a hug when I get a triple word score in Scrabble, or do a little dance as I make my first million in the game of life. And I may not say, "Hey, this means a lot to me." I may not say it, but you'll know.
Parker Brothers and Milton Bradley invite you to plan a family game night for your family tonight. Everybody who plays wins.
Mom, Dad, thanks for playing.
Commercials are more believable if you get to know real customers. So on the line with me is Michael Weisbrod, a Geico Auto Insurance customer. Michael, tell us about the real you.
Well, I'm 5'11", 170 pounds. My turn-ons are sunsets, honest people, walks on the beach, puppies, and low-cost car insurance.
It doesn't get any more real than that. To join sensitive people like Michael, call 1-800-947-AUTO. You could save 15% or more. 1-800-947-AUTO. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Fantastic program today with Ron Gividen from Escort. Right now, it's time to give away another prize in Car Clinic's Fall into Free Fuel, don't you love it, sweepstakes. Today, we're giving away an Escort Passport Max radar detector. The one is really a great prize because it's valued at $550. Now, this is for all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all of you folks who have entered. Plus, a little later in the program, we're going to be giving away a Passport Max 2 that Ron Gividen brought with him. It's even better to have Ron in the house because he'll be able to congratulate our winner. And folks, the Escort Passport Max is the first radar detector with HD radar performance. It's equipped with the unique Escort features like Auto Learn and the Defender database. Passport Max delivers quicker response time. The sensitivity is unbelievable. It's more accurate signal recognition. And the Passport Max features high-speed digital signal processing, which you'll hear a little more about a little bit later on. And that removes interference and identifies radar threats other detectors won't even see. And the Passport Max is compatible with Escort Live, Escort's social networking for the road. A little more about that a little later as well. Previous Escort winners hail from Detroit, Houston, Denver, and Boston. Now we're going to, and Tony, if you would, a drum roll, please. San Francisco. The winner of the Escort Passport Max is Cody Anderson of San Francisco, California. Let's see if we can get Cody on the phone. And Ron, you'll appreciate this. We use the Gentner system, and it has it's not like a regular phone. It's not responsive. It's the opposite of Escort radar in response. You hit the button, and it takes a lot of time. But this is a live call.
So we're going to call Cody right now.
We are. We're calling Cody, who lives in San Francisco.
The way to San Francisco.
Yes, we are.
Good morning.
Good morning, Cody. This is Bobby Likis from Bobby Likis Car Clinic with Ron Gividen from Escort in the house. How are you this Saturday morning?
Good. How are you guys?
We're just fantastic. And this is one of those days where the Eagle lands, and in this case, in your case, the Escort lands, because I'm here to tell you that you are the winner of the Escort Passport Max radar detector. It's a $549 value. I don't know why it's a $550 value.
Well, it's the marketers. They want to do that $995.
$995, but it's $549. It's close. I have one in my car, and Cody, I just want to congratulate you, for being a part of all of our network, our social media network, and our Facebook and Twitter, and all those things. What do you drive?
I drive a Saturn SC2, a stick.
A stick shift.
I suspect.
A stick shift.
Yeah. So with all that flat driving there in San Francisco, Cody, I bet you're pretty good with a stick.
Oh yeah, and they have radars up everywhere to catch you.
Yes, they do. It's California is even all around the Bay Area, San Leandro, all the way to the Oakland side, up and down the coast where you are and in the city. Red light cameras are big, and then you get out on the 5 and up and down on the interstate, they're putting up speed cameras. So you're going to love this. So have you driven with a radar detector before, Cody?
No, I have not, but my husband's looked at them before.
So make sure, that's awesome that you have a husband, and I'm sure you love him, but don't let him have your radar detector. Because when you drive with this, Cody, it's going to be so impressive, the response, and you're going to notice so many things that were there that some you thought and some you knew that were there. Others are going to surprise you that have always been there, and you've just been behaving. Hey, let me ask you another question real quick, Cody. Be honest. Have you ever been stopped for speeding?
Just once.
Just once. Okay, well, here's the great news. Here's the great news. With your new Passport Max radar detector, compliments of Bobby Likis and the Car Clinic, that should not happen again. I mean, if you pay attention to the radar detector, obviously, if she's talking to you and alerting you to slow down, and Cody, you just keep right on going, you might still get stuck.
And Cody, we'll congratulate you and glad to have you as a in the Car Clinic family. When you get this radar and after you have acclimated yourself, if you have any questions, call me. The site is fantastic. You can upgrade, not upgrade, you can update the database with your computer. And I agree with Ron. You should keep this radar detector, not give it to your husband, because I will tell you, you will see and hear things that, it will tell you to slow down. And I'm not talking about just out on A1A or A1. I'm talking about in the city where the speed limit goes from 35 to 25 and back up to 45. This unit will tell you and show you the speed of your car and the posted speed so that you can apply. And it will even give you a warning if you exceed that speed limit by 5, 10, or 15 miles per hour, and those are owner settings. We've got a bank of questions on the phone. We're going to go back to the phones, but
congratulations,
Cody. Congratulations,
Good
Cody.
for you. Good for you.
Let's
Awesome.
put Tony.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you, Tony. Put Cody back on hold, and then we will move on. That's great. A big thank you to Ron, to you, and to Escort for once again partnering with Car Clinic Sweepstakes. Our Fall into Fuel free fuel sweepstakes is just a fantastic way to connect with our audience, connect with people across the globe. And folks, stay tuned, because next week's Car Clinic, I'll be giving away 3 remaining prizes. So you make sure that you tune in next week from 10 to noon Eastern Time. And a little later in the program, we're giving away that Ron brought with him into the studio a Passport Max 2 radar detector. So all you need to do is call with your car questions. And to that end, let's take a car question, a radar question. Ted, you're up next with a radar question. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic with Ron Gividen and Escort.
Morning, Bobby. Enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Actually, you've already answered my question, but I'm just going to give you a chance to say it again. A while back, a friend of mine told me that the Escort radar detection system was the absolute best on the market. Is that really true?
Well, Ted, it's interesting that please tell the audience you're not a plant. Like we didn't have you call up. You did that on your own. So, and here's why I say that. And thank you very much for your call. Thanks for listening to the Car Clinic and Bobby Likis. The industry is narrow, 7 or 8 worldwide major players, of which Escort and Beltronics are under one roof. And in that industry, yes, and here's how we know that we are the best. Here's how you can know as the listener and watching the show. If you simply go to Google and Google radar detector, it will pop up with many different tests, independent surveys, independent blogs, forums, other people in the niche in the industry who are aficionados, much like yourself, and the listeners of the show. They're all going to say the same thing that I'm about to say. But we do it formally. Once a year, there's a test out in the West Texas desert.
Oh, shootout.
A shootout, and nobody else is there. Trust me, no one ever goes all the way out to I forget the name of the little city, but it's dried up. It's an old ghost town, literally. And we go there because it's a perfectly flat environment, no vehicles, no other cars. All of the other radar detector manufacturers show up with their latest products, and all of the gun manufacturers show up on the other side. And there's an actual formal, engineer-administered, law enforcement observed shootout test. Yes, all of the officers recording the results in the vehicles are actual police officers. And then the gun manufacturers and the radar detector manufacturers turn their equipment over to independent engineers, physicists, technicians to operate the test. We're just there to make sure that our product is turned on and set up, but they do the test. And here's the great news. So, Ted, this is how I know how to answer this question for certain. We come back from that shootout every single year. And Bobby started the show this morning going all the way back to the creation of the earth with how old he is, and shortly thereafter me joining the radar detector industry. We have never come back not the absolute winner in every category. So there's a formal test that does things like over the hill, around bends, scatter environment. We even now test against red light camera circuits. We go around a little drive-through and make sure that we can see all the red light cameras. Flat out range, rejection of false alerts, which we'll get more into in the show, and no one else that's there can perform anywhere near the same level. There's a fun story to tell about that, but I don't have time, I suspect, right now.
Right, probably not. We'll take another call. But, Ted, thank you so much for your call, and most appreciated. And I thank you for listening to our program, to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. You mentioned, and I just want to touch base on this because we'll take a call from Nick, who's up next. And, folks, if you want to get in, and just as a reminder, everyone who calls will have your name in a magic hat to win a Passport Max 2 radar detector in the second hour of today's program. And if for some reason our affiliate doesn't carry both hours or we shifted an hour, you can always go to Watch Bobby Live. And if you're there right now, we'll wave at the cameras. A special hello. Let's go to Nick in Arkansas. Nick, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thanks for holding.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Hello, Nick.
How you doing? I'm from Alaska, though.
Oh, yeah. Alaska. Oh, well, that's my bad. AK-ARK. That's right. AK is Alaska. Where do you live in Alaska?
I live in the city, Anchorage.
Oh, cool. Well, what's your question?
Well, the question is, I run the Escort Redline radar detector, and I run that with the Escort Live. And my question for Ron is, what are we looking like with Escort Live? You know, I know, I'm in Alaska, but a lot of people up here actually do run Escort products. So I want to know what's coming in 2015 and like functionality and user base. What's coming down the pipeline for Escort Live?
Wow.
Well, first of all, I would say thank you so very much, Nick, for calling in all the way from Alaska and listening to Bobby Likis in the Car Clinic. Thank you for driving with the red line. That is our muscle car version of our radar detectors. It is the absolute extreme sensitivity. That detector is phenomenal. Not in Alaska, but if you were in the only state where you cannot drive with a radar detector legally,
Virginia.
which is Virginia, they actually use radar or RF electrical signal sniffers, little radios that pick up extraneous signals from radar detectors. All other radar detector models on the planet, if you're driving in Virginia, they can see those. But Nick's red line, if he were in Virginia, they cannot see that because it's electrically sealed. It's invisible to other RF radar detectors. And I don't want to get off track. So, Nick, let me tell you what's coming for Escort Live. Thank you for using that as well. In the Escort Live app for iPhone and Android, you download the app, and now what's really cool is once you're in the app, everyone that is in the app at the same time, you all share that information. Here's one new thing that we're going to announce in 3 weeks at the CES show, Nick. We're bringing active air patrol to Escort Live, so now you'll know when they're up there, thanks to Escort Live. And there's some more things that are coming. We're always updating that app. And thank you so very much for using the app, driving with the red line, and thank you again for your call from Alaska.
Thanks, Nick. And I just had you placed in Arkansas, but again, you're in Alaska. We're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to come back, and we have Captain Jim. I see Stan, Dick, and Christy. Folks, don't go away. We'll take all of your car questions and all your radar questions at 888-227-2546. Ron, I have to confess, I didn't know there was a red line. How was that? When we come back, how is that? How is that I don't know that? Don't touch the dial. We'll be back. This mailbag is brought to you by K&N, the world's best air filter. Vinny in Philadelphia writes,
Bobby, I decided to build a hot rod and actually came across one that the owner started and is selling before he completed it. The motor's already in it, a 350 Chevy 4-barrel carb. It just needs gas lines connected and dress-up accessories. Where's the best place to start?
Vinny, great winter project. First stop should be knfilters.com. Not only for K&N cool custom air cleaner assemblies and other accessories, but K&N also has a billet oil filter, a complete line of external electric fuel pumps, and trick fuel filters. Finding the right air filter is a combination of looks, eye candy for cruise nights, and fit. Does the hood clear the air filter and housing? But most important, if you use a K&N air filter, you can be assured your hot rod will benefit from all the great features K&N filters bring under your hood. Vinny, for a great place to start your new project, check out knfilters.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
This is Tom. What's up? Sitting in his cubicle.
Actually, it's called a workstation.
Whatever. Tom is slowly dying in his workstation.
I mean, aren't we all dying, really, if you think about it?
Let's not get philosophical, Tom. Just go to careerbliss.com. Follow companies that you find. Apply to openings right online. Check salaries and read reviews. Score a career that's perfect for you.
I feel alive!
Choose happy. Careerbliss.com.
I'm your blind spot. And my job is easy. Hide big things.
You're good.
And if you named your own price on car insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Dollar for dollar. Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate agents.
And now for the bonus round. If Rome wasn't built in a day, how long did it take?
3 business days. Oh, plus 1 Saturday.
Correct. A good man is hard to find. Why?
Because he's so small.
Correct. Netflix delivers movies by mail, and now what other way?
Directly to your TV.
Correct! Netflix now delivers movies 2 ways, instantly to your TV, plus DVDs by mail. Watch as many TV episodes and movies as you want for only $9 a month. Netflix! See terms of use.
It's Practical Poly Radio. I've switched to cooking with healthier oils. So now what do I do with all these tubs of lard? Skinny jeans feeling too tight, a bit of lard on your hips and thighs, and those pants slide on like a dream. So there's no need for that lard to go to waste. But get your best heart-healthy trade-up with healthier oils, like canola, olive, or other vegetable oils, which can actually lower your chances for heart disease. Learn more at heart.org/face the fats. Canola Info is the national supporter of the American Heart Association's Face the Fats campaign.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this special edition of Bobby Likis Car Clinic with Ron Gividen from Escort. Always a pleasure to have you in the house, and I mean that both professionally and personally. You do such a great job. You obviously you're so well versed on radar detectors and the technology. And a little later on, I do have a question, and I'll get to that. But I want to move along with the phones now. So we'll go to New York, and we're going to have Dick to join us. But first, I want to shout out to Mike Multane and David Lang, General Manager and Program Director, WNDB, 1150 AM in Daytona Beach, Florida. And we are simulcasting with 93.5 there in Daytona Beach. And, Ron, just an FYI, we started with 4 stations back when we were simply radio, and now we've morphed into this network of social media and multi-platforms. But the bottom line is we started with 4 stations in 2 states, and WNDB, that was 23 years ago, was one of those. And we're still Mark Bernier, who had a short stay as program director, decided, I'll put this car guy on. And we've been there ever since, and I really am proud of that. We've performed and produced about 11 remote broadcasts from the Daytona Beach, including John Hall Chevrolet, the Daytona Racetrack, Preston Roots box up on when it was called the Winston Tower. So a special connection that I have with all the folks in Daytona Beach.
So sometimes you run through and you say something like that, and it's easy for us to listen, nod our head, and let that go. That is monumental. It really is. 23 years. You start with 4 stations, 2, then 4, and now today you're this entire network that really, you could argue, is not just in the United States. It's actually global.
No. We get calls from Afghanistan and from military.
Which is just incredible.
So
congratulations.
Thank you.
And since you said personal as well as professional, the personal level is just awesome. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. Let's go to New York. And Dick, thank you for holding. And then Christy and Captain Jim and Stan, Mike, all you folks, we're going to come to you, I promise. Dick, it's your turn. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic with Bobby and Ron.
Well, happy holidays, Bob and Ron.
Thank you, sir.
I guess I got like a 3-point question. Are they legal in New York State? What happens? How do they work good? Like when you're going down the highway and there's a lot of tractor trailers in front of you? And the third part is, what are they going to do about the cameras and the helicopters? Will they pick up those also?
Wow.
So those are, Dick, thank you so much for calling in from New York, and thank you very much for thank you for the holiday wishes. Best back to you as well. The holidays are lots of fun. In fact, some of Bobby's notes here, they've put his team is just a phenomenal team. They've got these little holiday logos on the top of them so that I can get a kick out of them. Bobby can see them. Wish you could see them, so thank you. Hey, New York is that's a tough state, and so the good news on all 3 of those questions, 3 great questions. First of all, in New York, you can, in fact, have a radar detector. It is entirely legal. Nobody can hassle you for having a radar detector. You can have it in the car. You can drive with it. You can use it. It is perfectly legal. Only one state. We said this before. Only in Virginia, and we do, in fact, have answers for that. Secondly, you ask a very insightful, good question. What about other tractor-trailer rigs if you're in the city with buildings? There are some environmental factors, just like when you and I are having a conversation, Dick. If somebody walks between us, my audio gets a little bit muted. But here's the good news. An Escort radar detector for any given scenario, any given situation, tractor trailers, other vehicles, hills, terrain, buildings, our detectors are the most sensitive in the industry. We're still going to receive a radar signal. You're going to be okay using our detector. Not all detectors, but you will be okay using an Escort or Beltronics radar detector. And finally, as the helicopter flying overhead, typically for the air patrol that's up and they're enforcing by air, which is a simple X equals VT calculation. We all learned that in 7th or 8th grade math, just as an algebra equation. Your speed equals the distance traveled divided by the time. And so what they're actually doing with that helicopter or the aircraft above you, they watch you pass by on a line down below. Mm-hmm. They start a stopwatch, and if you cross the next marked off line prior to a certain amount of time that has passed, they know that you're speeding. They radio down below, and now you get pulled over. So the good news there, Dick, we just talked about this a couple of questions or callers prior to you joining the show. And our Escort Live Ticket Protection app, that's an app that's for your smartphone, Android or iPhone. Inside of that app, we're going to announce here in 3 weeks that we are now letting drivers know when they pass through active air patrol zones. That is to say, if they're up there with a helicopter or up there with an aircraft, the Escort Live Ticket Protection app is going to alert you and let you know that you're in an active air patrol zone. So how's that for 3 out of 3?
How about that? Well, anyway, have a happy holiday, guys.
All right. Thank you, Dick.
Thank you, Dick. Thanks for calling. And, again, you can go to escortradar.com for additional information. And with that, let's go from...
We have holiday logos on the website.
Terrific.
They're not as nice as these. No, they're not. I better not say that. Our web guys are very
Let's
good.
go from New York to Missouri.
I didn't mean that, guys.
From New York to Missouri, Christy, thank you for holding. And then Captain Jim's coming up next. Christy, thank you for holding. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic with Ron and Bobby this morning.
Good morning, guys. Happy holidays.
Thank you. The same right back at you.
Thank you, Christy. Thank you for calling.
Hey, I've got a question. I'm considering getting an Escort Max. My question is it better to plug into the cigarette port or hardwire it to the actual car? Does one function better than the other?
Well, that's a great question.
Can I tell you about my magic hat?
Yes. I have the same question. I'm torn with this.
Let me tell you about.
Let
me tell you about my magic hat. You're going to go, and it's going to be good. But Christy, I have great news for you. I once had a magic hat, but I lost it. It's gone. Bobby may have found it because Bobby has a magic hat. And here's the good news: by calling in, you've just been entered into a drawing for a Passport Max radar detector. And I think that's great news because you stand a relatively decent chance of actually winning one, but it's still good that you're considering buying one, which makes you very smart. Very smart. Now, to the question of which way to power that unit, Bobby's going to tell you a story.
Well, and to that end, the unit will not know whether
But you're in the magic hat.
whether it's hardwired. Christy, the unit doesn't care as long as it gets 12 volts from the car. What the difference is, and what kind of car do you drive?
I just got a brand new CLA Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, cool! That is one of my favorite, and I'm not just saying this.
Awesome.
That's one of my favorite automobiles. And by the way, it's Mercedes' first front-wheel drive, and it outsold what Mercedes thought that it would. In fact, you have some dealers that just don't get them and don't have them yet,
which is a tough problem.
Here's the challenge that I have, and I have this very same challenge in my own car. I do not want wires coming over my dash just because I'm a neat freak, and so I want to hardwire it. However, that's a bit invasive. What that means is someone will have to run a wire behind the dash, and some panel will have to come off. And then hopefully, and the way cars are made today, and yours included, Christy, the way cars are made today, unless you know how to pop off or disassemble a component on the dash, it can be not only intimidating, you can do damage. And you wouldn't want to, for the sake of a hard wiring, which means that you have a wire that comes out of nowhere and makes the unit work, versus a cigarette or cigar port, as you said, battery port. So my option is this, and I'm doing this on my very car. I fire my Passport Max from a port like you're talking about, but I've managed to run the wire for the most part along the console, under the lip of the console where the leather wraps around, so you can't see where it comes from. There is a single wire that comes up from my dash to the unit and fires the unit. So I preferred to do that, even though I would rather, and if it were a perfect world, I'd rather take the dash apart and run an invisible wire to it. But that just didn't I wasn't comfortable with that. So for you, I think you can have it both ways. If you should win, if not, buy your Radar Max, the Max or Passport Max 2, and then use the cigar plug to fire it until you say, well, I do want to hardwire it, and by that time you'll have someone in your local area. Where are you from, Missouri?
Just right outside St. Louis.
Okay, then you'll have someone there that's in the aftermarket electronics that has had the car part, or maybe even the dealer, and they can run a hard wire, which is like an invisible wire.
And they'll have a magic hat.
That is a great
magic tool.
That is a great question. We'll put your name in the hat, and thank you so much. Any more questions there, or you're good?
Nope, I think that answers what I'm just excited to be answered in the drawing.
Yeah. What color is your car?
It is like a slate gray, very, very pretty.
Yeah.
That's very awesome,
Good,
Christy.
good.
Hey, good luck with your
luck.
installation.
Thank you. Take care. Thanks for your call. Now let's go from Missouri to Nevada. Captain Jim, welcome to Bobby Likis. And folks, if you'd like to get in now, it just happens to be one slot, but you need to fill it. 888 Car Clinic, 888-227-2546. Captain Jim, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you join us today on the Bobby and Ron and Escort show.
Well, I have to say, and good morning to you all, I have to say you both are the best-looking two that I've seen on my computer this morning.
So people really can see that.
That's HD. It's HD.
So thank you very much, Captain Jim. May I ask a question, Captain Jim?
Yes. I have a rather old Cobra radar detector, and years ago it used to drive me nuts, especially when I was driving in the marina areas going to work, because the radars from some of the boats passing by would constantly set it off. If I buy a new one, would I have that same problem?
So that is a great question, because it leads into this whole topic that is very, very much a personal favorite of mine. So I'm not sure, Captain Jim, if you tuned in at the very beginning of the show, but before I go any further, what is the captain from in your name? Captain Jim?
Yacht captain.
Oh, okay, Captain Jim. Very, very cool. The ocean, the water is awesome. We used to have a boat back in the old days. But Bobby talked about my tenure in the industry, and it's interesting that you mentioned Cobra. We have some news about that. We'll talk in a second. But your specific question is great for this reason. Having been an engineer and then somebody close to radar detectors, used the products before I entered the industry, but for more than 2.5 decades, of all of the designs and innovations, and Escort, Beltronics, we generally come up with all of the new technology in the industry. It's not a big industry, but we're the guys that create the things that work. Of all the things we've ever done, the ability to eliminate those annoying false alerts, like your Cobra radar detector alerting when the boats go by, and everyone else that's listening to the show and that's driven with a radar detector, and they go by the bank, they go by the big box stores, any place where there are automatic doors, alarm systems, motion sensors, even your neighbor's garage door opener, will cause all other radar detectors to alert. That's because other radar detectors are simple, dumb radios. If there's radar in the band, they pick it up, they will alert, and it's not a real alert. The greatest thing that we ever did has been 8 years running with the original Passport 9500 IX radar detector. And Captain Jim, here's the great news. The technology in that radar detector was such that the detector would learn where those false alert sources were, or are, depends on whether you're coming or going, and then lock them out. So now when you drive with one of our new model radar detectors, the Max, the IX still, or the new Passport Max 2, and by the way, you're now entered in a drawing for that as well. The good news is that radar detector doesn't like those false alerts either, but even better, it has the technology, the intelligence to learn where they are, lock them out, and eliminate them. And of all the things we've ever done, and we've done some amazing technologies, the ability to block laser, the ability to pick up red light cameras, speed cameras, and so much more. Captain Jim, my personal favorite of all of our technology introductions was the ability to make my detector stop alerting and annoying me with all of those false alerts. So the good news is, the next time you buy a radar detector, if you buy a top-line Escort or Beltronics, you're no longer going to have that problem. What do you think of that?
have to confess to you, I haven't used a radar detector now more than probably 10 or 15 years. I just put it away, and I just dug it out before the show to have a look at it. And it was because it was just too annoying. I finally had to give up on it.
Oh, we know that. Here's even more good news. If you call us, 800-433-3487, or you visit the website, escortradar.com, here's the good news, Captain Jim. You buy one of our top-line detectors, we'll buy that old Cobra that no longer works. It doesn't even see all the guns anymore. Besides being an annoying radar detector, we will buy that back from you as a trade-in on a new model radar detector.
Really?
Yes, we will. We sure will.
Will he have to get it appraised before he trades it?
No, we make it real simple. It's painless. Depending on what you buy and what you're trading in, it's pretty much one of three levels. Good, better, best. Good, better, best. Just like Bobby's show. Best, best, best.
Captain Jim, thanks so much for your call and a great question. And I too, with my history, and I go back 20 plus years with Escort.
I thought you said to the dinosaurs.
You said to the dinosaurs. I didn't.
Well, you didn't correct me.
Well, I know, but I was.
Hey, can I say hi to Ted? Can I say hi to Ted?
Nice,
because there was a Ted that called in.
Yeah,
I want to say hi to Ted in the studio. And I want to say hi to Diane, and I want to talk about your incredible staff. Do you ever do that? Because I'm sure you do, but am I allowed to say Tony and Christiana's name on
Absolutely. And folks, let me just preface what this job before this.
Because we only have about 30 seconds.
We do, and
but they're the most awesome team in all of radio TV. They are incredible. They really are.
They are.
Absolutely. They're awesome.
Thanks, guys.
If you could all come down here, you would. That's why we're in such a good mood when we come up. Bobby is like in such good hands. He doesn't even really have to do the show.
That's right. I just kind of sit back and get guests in, and Ron Gividen's one of them.
They're awesome.
I see that we have Stan and Mike and from Washington, Mike from Florida, James from Missouri, and Bob from New York. At the risk of imposing on your politeness, I'm going to ask you to hold another hour of Bobby Likis Car Clinic coming up. Ron, we'll take a short break. We'll be back at 6 minutes after the top of the hour with the second hour of Bobby Likis Car Clinic with Ron Gividen and Escort.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
Fortune 500 companies choose Royal Purple lubricants to protect and improve the performance of their multi-million-dollar equipment. The same high-performance technology is also available for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Royal Purple enhances performance and provides superior protection for anything wrapped in metal. Royal Purple is the performance oil that outperforms. For independent tests and endorsements that document Royal Purple benefits, go to royalpurple.com. That's royalpurple.com.
I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. From Secretary of the Navy Ray Mabus. Every time the cost of a barrel of oil goes up $1, it costs the U.S. Navy $31 million. But it's costly in more ways than just money. For every 50 convoys of gasoline we bring in, we lose a Marine, killed or wounded. That is too high a price to pay for fuel. I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. Brought to you by the Renewable Fuels Association.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Well, spank my bottom and call me polyethylene. I'm recyclable. Hi, Tom Bodette from Motel 6. In the spirit of conservation, this commercial uses 100% recycled words. Yep, just like water bottles or cans of garbanzo beans. I've used all 160-odd words in this commercial before to describe Motel 6, like clean, comfortable, and lowest price of any national chain. That was a whole six-pack I just recycled there. I figure why make new words when those work just fine? So I can tell you what a great value Motel 6 always has been and still is without contributing to a verbal landfill or increasing my jargon footprint. I see it as doing our part to conserve our precious verbal resources, and that feels pretty good. Almost as good as saving money. I bet this will sound familiar too. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you. Book online at motel6.com.